Hey everybody, welcome back. Devin, the OG Original Grognard, continuing our look and playthrough of Table Battles from Hollandspiel, doing the Battle of White Mountain, 8 November, 1620. I do want to thank a lot of my viewers. I had a couple of you guys point out last video that I think I did roll a straight with the Imperial and Catholic League, but I think I hit my big fat chubby fingers, knocked the dice over when I started to grab for the dice. So good eye on you guys for catching that. I think you are absolutely 100% correct that I did have a straight, so we could have gotten, you know, a cube on our artillery. I'm not going to go back and retcon it. I committed the dice to other things, so it also made me realize that the way I'm doing the dice rolls for this are just absolute poop. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take the dice and roll them off the side so I can get a clear look at them. You know, just roll them off to the side here. Hopefully they don't go off the edge, because it'd be a pain in the butt for me to try to get down on my knees and retrieve the dice. Especially with how bad one of my knees is. Yeah, I think that's all. I think that's all I had. We left off with it being the Bohemian's turn, and I just realized I probably kind of painted myself into a corner here, because I've got 2 dice on Schlick and 2 dice on the Protestant cavalry. Well, both of them are since both of them are cav, they require a triplet to activate their attack. So that kind of only leaves me 2 dice. I mean, now granted, it's a 50-50 chance of me getting at least a 4, 5, or 6, because, you know, Schlick requires 4s and Protestant cavalry requires 5s and 6s. However, if I don't come up with any 4s, 5s, or 6s, I'm kind of stuck there. And as far as I know, there's no way that you can take an action to absolutely just discard some dice that are on a card. I may contact Tom about that and see what he says, and see if there's some way of putting that type of activity, because I'm sure that it's going to get to a point where just oversight on the player's part, you're going to dig yourself into a corner and, you know, be rolling 1 dice and just can't get out of it and need to free up some dice. But yeah, I think I may contact Tom about that and see what see what his opinion and his logic and the reasoning behind that is. Because like I said, I don't think you can remove dice once they're already placed, other than doing with an action. So anyways, that's all I got. Do I have anything else? No, nothing really. All right, so we're going to go with the Protestants' turn. Again, Schlick and the Protestant cavalry are the only 2 units that have got dice on them. They can't do anything, so let's go ahead and just roll the 2 remaining dice. Hopefully we get a 4, 5, or 6, and I should not be yawning. 1 or 2, nothing. Now, 1s and 2s do me nothing anyway. So that's going to end the Protestant turn. Go over to the Catholic League, Imperial Catholic League. All right, so the Catholic League has got 3 dice on it. They can do a triplet. They can attack Schlick, but Schlick has got 2 dice on them. They can counter... Oh, no, they can only counter the Catholic League infantry. Ooh, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. The Catholic League cavalry is going to go ahead and do their attack, and they do a 1 whole hit. So they're going to do 1 hit on Schlick, and Schlick is down to 1 cube left. That's not good. That is... Actually, you know what? To make it a little bit even easier to see, we'll remove one of the dark blues and put a light blue out there, because the Protestant side is all light blue. So hopefully that'll show up on the camera a little bit better. So yeah, that's not looking good for Schlick. Okay, so then Imperial dice roll. What do we got? 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that, boys and girls. We got ourselves a straight. Yes, we needed a straight 4 to activate the 12 Apostles Cavalry, or Artillery. So that goes ahead, and we're able to put a white cube on the 12 Apostles Artillery, and that's that dice. You don't ever put any dice on artillery. You just you either put a cube on it or you just don't charge it at all. Now again, I will point out with the Roman numerical 3 on here, you can have up to 3 white cubes on here. So Although that would really be kind of tough to get that many. I don't know why you would want to hang on to them. But I'm sure there are tactical reasons why. So flips back over to the Protestants there. Oh my God, why am I yawning so much? I haven't been feeling well the last couple of days. I thought I got a good night's sleep last night. I went to bed relatively early. Well, for me, 10, and I was up at about 2, and then slept in. So, all right, Protestant, again, they're stuck doing the same thing. They got dice that they can't do anything. We need a 4, 5, or 6. All right, there we go. At least we got a 5, so that charges up the Protestant cavalry, so they'll be able to do something next turn. And at least give them dice back into their hand. Let's go ahead and flip back to the Imperials. Now, what I am going to do, since we were able to get a cube on the bombard, we are going to go ahead and use the 12 Apostles artillery, and we are going to bombard the Protestants. Oh my God, I apologize. So basically, what that does is that goes ahead and it burns the 1 cube that they put on there. Now we could. You know what? We may do that. I want to demonstrate how bombards work. I could use a screen against any enemy attack. So that may be something to keep in mind in the future, to just go ahead and keep 1 dice on there, or 1 cube on there if you can get it for a free screen against any enemy attack. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to bombard. And what bombard does is it flat out destroys an enemy morale cube. Just takes it away. It doesn't shift it to the user side. It just flat out eliminates the morale cube. So that's their action. So let's go ahead and see what the roll, because we're back up to 5 dice. Ooh, 1s and 2s. Ooh, let's see. We want to try to pick on Schlick, because Schlick is... he's only got 1 cube left, but we didn't roll any, or he's only got one hit, 1 block left, so he can only take 1 more hit. But I got no 3s and 4s, so, but we can 1s and 2s. It's gonna be the Imperial Cavalry. It's the only one I can put. It's the only one that's got 1s and 2s. So let's go ahead and take the triplet of 1s, put them on the Imperial Cavalry. I'll be able to do something next turn. Okay, flip back over to the Bohemian Protestant player. Really, the only thing that they've got is using the 3 dice from the Protestant cavalry, so they're going to attack and then go after the Imperial Cavalry. Imperial Cavalry can only screen Thurn, so the attack is going to go off. Uses the 3 dice. Imperial Cavalry does 1 hit, so Imperial Cavalry is going to take 1 hit. And that goes away. And that will give the Protestant player dice back. So they've got 4 dice. Let's see what we can do. Can we get a 4? 1, 2. Okay, 1s and 2s are no good anyways, because we don't have any cards that stack 1s or 2s. We got 4s and 5s. I could put 5 on Hohenlohe, but we do want to put 4. We're going to do something with Schlick before he gets killed, probably. So we'll go ahead and put the 4 on there to give him his 3rd dice for a triplet attack. And switches back over to the Imperial player. Imperial player, they're going to go ahead and activate the Imperial Cavalry, going after the Protestant Cavalry to do 1 hit. So that brings them down. The Protestant Cavalry and Imperial Cavalry on the right flank here are kind of just peppering back and forth at each other. They're kind of even maintaining parity. So that gives the Imperials back up to 5 dice to play with. 2s, 2s, 3s, 6. Alright, so 6 is the Catholic League Infantry. 2s is Imperial Cavalry. 3s is Catholic League Cavalry. You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and start charging up the Catholic League Cavalry, because they want to try to knock out Schlick. And since that's the Catholic wing, we still have something for the Imperial wing, which is either 1s, 2s, 4s. I could put the 2s on here, but that'll reduce me to 1 dice next turn. So no, I'm not gonna charge up the Imperial Cavalry. We're just gonna go ahead and make sure that we got 3 dice for next turn. Again, it's little decisions like that we can make. I could have put the 2 2s on there, but that would, since I'm not going to be making any attacks, well, I could make an attack with Liechtenstein, but that would be a wash at 1 damage received for 1 damage inflicted. And that would reduce me to one dice only, and I don't like those kind of odds, so we're not going to put any of the dice on the Imperial Cavalry and just save ourselves for 3 dice next turn. So, flips back over to the Protestant player. See, I'm much better this game. I'm calling the proper terminology for the right sides. Schlick is going to go ahead and activate his... he's going to go after the Catholic League Cavalry, so he's going to inflict 1 hit on the Catholic League Cavalry, and nobody can screen it. So the attack goes off regardless. And then that'll bring the Protestant player back to 6 dice in their hand. Let's see if we can get something decent. Getting tired of the 1s, 2s, 3s. Look at this. Better than average when I'm rolling 1s, 2s, and 3s. So I got 4s and 6s. You know what? Let's go ahead and charge up Thurn. I think we want Thurn to have an attack. So we'll go ahead and do that. Flips back over to the Imperial player. They don't have anything, so they've got their 3 dice. Let's go ahead and see what they can do. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. 1, 2. Okay, 3. Okay, so we got a 3. We'll charge up the Catholic Cavalry. That probably is going to eliminate... Yeah, I don't have anybody that can screen the Catholic League Cavalry. So that's going to be enough. They're probably going to knock Schlick out next turn. So that's that wing. I got Imperial Cav, or the Imperial wing, and all I've got is 1s and 2s. Again, I could only put 1 dice. It's both. It is indicated 1s and 2s, but you can only put 1 number type on there. And again, we're getting into a situation like we had last turn. I don't want to put 1 of those numbers on there, limiting the amount of dice I get to roll. So we'll go ahead and be done with that and flip over to the Protestants. Protestants have got 1 dice on Thurn. They could go after Liechtenstein. I mean, they are a little bit ahead of Liechtenstein in casualties. I mean, 4-3. But let's see if let's not do any actions with the Protestants. Let's see what we can get dice wise. 1, 2. Look at that. I blame it on the Hessians. The Hessians are making me roll all these horrible dice. So we've got a single 4. I could put it on Schlick. At this point, why? They're going to die next turn anyways. So Protestants are not putting any dice down. Flips back over to the Imperials. The Imperials, well, they're going to go ahead and do it. They're going to take their 3 dice to activate the Catholic League Cavalry, go after Schlick, do 1 hit, pow, gone. Schlick has been eliminated. Routed from the field of battle. Since a card has been eliminated or routed from the field of battle, morale point from the Protestants to the Imperials. Just like that, simple as that. Now, the problem is that since Schlick is the only target the Catholic League Cavalry can go after, they really don't have any more targets that they can attack for the rest of the game. Now, they could screen against Hohenlohe, but am I going to stick 2 dice on there for the possibility of Hohenlohe getting charged up and attacking? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that's the Imperial action. Now their dice rolls. We got 1, 2, 3. Oh, hey, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another straight, boys and girls. So that goes ahead and that charges up the 12 Apostles Bombard Artillery. I love that the artillery was named the 12 Apostles for the Catholic League. That just tickles my funny bone and amuses me. I wonder if each of the artillery pieces were named John, Paul, Matthew, Mark, Luke, after the different disciples. Okay, so we'll go back over to the Bohemian Protestants. They've got a 6 Thurn. It's still the same situation again. Now, let's go ahead and see what we can charge up with the dice. Hey, there we go. Much better. Okay, so 1, 2s, and 3s don't do anything. We got 6s. They're definitely going on Thurn. Thurn's going after Liechtenstein. We've seen our flank collapse and the Catholic League Cavalry chasing after Schlick, so we need to push something more on the other side. So that's going to be their action. Flip back over to the Imperials. All they've got is Liechtenstein. You know what? Okay, a couple different options I have with Liechtenstein. They're more than likely going to get eliminated next turn because Thurn has got the 3 dice on him, and Liechtenstein's only got 3 points left. So I can either be petty about it and activate Liechtenstein to do 1 hit to Thurn and 1 hit to myself which will make it just easier for Thurn to kill off next turn. Or if I wanted to, I could retire Liechtenstein. I do have 1 dice on there, and you only need 1 dice to retire it, which in turn will bring up Tiefelbach. However, if Tiefelbach comes up, then Thurn's just going to smack him for 3 points next turn, bringing him down to 1 point. So honestly, I think it's best if I stick with Liechtenstein, activate Liechtenstein, 1 hit per dice, so they'll do 1 hit to Thurn. They'll take 1 hit in return damage. And that will be that. Go ahead and charge dice. Bunch of, let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, what do you know? I was amazed that we got another straight. So that goes ahead and puts another one. Actually, this is probably good because now we can screen any attack. And you know what? I think that's probably what we're going to do. Flip over to the Bohemian player. They really want to take out Liechtenstein. They need to get rid of the dice. However, they know that the bombards are set up to screen any attack. But you know what? We need to get rid of the dice anyways. Thurn will go ahead and attack to do 3 points to Liechtenstein. However, the Imperials will burn 1 of their dice on the 12 Apostles. Screen any enemy attack. No damage either way across the board. It's a wash. The Imperials will lose their next turn, so the Protestants will get 2 turns in a row. So that was the action. Now let's see what we can do dice-wise. 1s, 2s, and 3s we can get rid of. Ooh, you know what? But the problem is we still got that artillery still has 1 screen on there. Let's keep the pressure up. Let's go ahead and keep charging with Thurn. Now, it would flip to the Imperial player, but the Imperial player did a reaction. Now, again, you got to remember... the reactions have to be done. So I actually didn't even have a choice in that matter. I had to do the screen with the bombards. So it comes around back to the Imperial player, or not the Imperial player. Oh, I've only done it once so far. Protestant player, blame the Hessians. They'll go ahead and attack, which in turn the artillery will screen the attack again, making the attack a wash. Again, with the Imperial player going to be losing their turn. So let's see what the Protestants can charge up this time. 1s, 2s, 3s. I swear to God, I think the last 10 dice rolls that I've done, more than half of the dice, it seems, have been 1s, 2s, and 3s and no good to me. So, 4s and 5s. You know what? Let's go ahead and put it on Hohenlohe. We'll be done with that. It would flip over to the Imperial player. Imperial player can't do anything because they did the reaction with the 12 Apostles artillery. So it flips back over to the Bohemian player. They are not going to activate Hohenlohe to go after Catholic League infantry because it'll be just a 1 hit. And, well, I don't know. I am kind of ahead. I've got 4 to 3. You know what? Just to get the dice back in my hand, let's go ahead and do the attack. So Hohenlohe will attack. He has 1 dice, so it's 1 hit per dice, and takes 1 hit per action. So he takes 1 hit in return. Puts the dice back in the Bohemian's hands. Ones. All right. 5s and 6s, 5s and 6s. It's not gonna be enough to charge the Protestant cavalry. I don't want to do Thurn. Catholic League infantry is getting a little bit low. So yeah, let's go ahead and put it on Hohenlohe. Start pushing with Hohenlohe, even though Thurn's attacks seem to have sputtered out with the blistering artillery fire and barrages that the 12 Apostles were able to put down. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Now, flips back over to the Imperial. Finally, the Imperials get in action. They got no dice on anything. Let's go ahead and roll dice for them. 1, 2, 3, 4. We did it again. Wow. Yes, we're going to go ahead with the 12 Apostles and put that on there. Now, technically, since this is part of the Catholic League wing, I still could put something over here with the Imperials. 1 and a 5. You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and put it on Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein wants to try to inflict some type of damage. Plus, it gives him an option to retire and bring Tiefelbach up. So over to the Protestant player. Yeah, you know what? The Protestant player is gonna activate Hohenlohe, use their 2 dice, so they're gonna do 2 hits. No, you know what? Gonna have to screen. So the Imperial player, or not the Imperial player has to activate the screen. So it's gonna be a wash on the attack. That artillery has come in and has saved the Imperials quite often here the last few turns. Okay, dice rolls. We got, oh, there we go. Halfway decent dice rolls. We got 4, 4, 5. Actually, 4s can't do anything. Oh, that's right. Since Schlick retreated, he was our only 4s we had. So all we got is 5s and 6s. Who do we want to go after? Catholic League Infantry or Liechtenstein? Both of them have 2 hits left on them. Liechtenstein has 1 dice and can still retire. So let's charge up Hohenlohe to keep pressing on the Catholic League Infantry. Back over to the Imperial player. Liechtenstein is not going to attack. It wants to save that 1 dice for a retire if it needs it. 4s, 5s, and 6. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to. We're gonna make Liechtenstein very, very. Oh no, I can't. Since it's in parentheses, I can only put 1 dice on there. But it is the only. Yeah. Since this is the Imperial wing, we will put the 1 dice on there. That still allows us to put dice on the Catholic League wing. And what have we got? Catholic League Cavalry. I mean, other than Screeny Hohenlohe, I mean, there's no point putting any dice on there. So, Catholic League Infantry, we'll go ahead and put the 1/6 on there. Flips over to the Protestant player. Protestant player, you know what? They are going to attack again. A little bit of a screening attack. They're going to go ahead, burn their dice, do 1 point to the Catholic League Infantry, and end up taking 1 point in return. They're able to do that because they outnumber the Catholic League Infantry. And now it's kind of gotten to the point where the Catholic League Infantry can't even attack, or it'll kill themselves. Because remember, for most infantry, you always take one hit on yourself per action. All right, so let's go ahead and see what dice we get out of the Protestants this turn. Oh, 3s. Oh, triple 5. Oh, 5s. Oh. Do we want to put it now? We could put it on the Protestant cavalry, and that would do 1 point to the Imperial cavalry, or we can just charge up Hohenlohe and smack the Catholic League Infantry off the table. So I think that's probably what we're going to do. And back over to the Imperial player. You know what? Yeah, we're going to go ahead. Liechtenstein is going to go ahead and burn its 2 dice to do 2 points to Thurn and 1 point to itself. That's bad. Because the good thing, why it's so bad is because if I can get a dice on Liechtenstein, I can at least retire them, save myself the morale block. Thurn does not have that luxury. So if Tiefelbach comes up behind Liechtenstein, probably will finish off Thurn. But let's go ahead and see what dice we get. We get at least 1 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. Do I want to charge? Yes, I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to charge the artillery because we know that Hohenlohe is coming with a lot of dice, and that'll knock out the Catholic League Infantry. So we're going to have to screen that attack. So we're going to have to charge that. And the one we could put it on the Imperial Cavalry, but at this point there's no need to. So that's going to be the Imperials back over to the Protestants, and Protestants are not happy. They're going to go ahead and attack with Hohenlohe, which will automatically be countered by the artillery, and that is the 3rd or 4th time the artillery has stopped Hohenlohe and Thurn from knocking the Catholic League Infantry and Liechtenstein out of the game. They are not happy with that artillery. The artillery is turning out to be the MVP of the game. So, I'll go ahead and dice it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 6 dice rolled, and I can use one of them out of it. Yeah, let's go ahead and charge up Hohenlohe. Because even if Hohenlohe has 1 dice on him and attacks, it'll still be enough to kill the Catholic League infantry and not kill Hohenlohe. And then that'll allow them to start pressing on Liechtenstein. And failing if Liechtenstein's gone, they can go after Tiefenbach. Okay, so Catholic League infantry. You know, there's a part of me that's thinking, well, chances are he's going to be dead next turn, unless I can get another straightened screen. But yeah, let's go ahead and activate the Catholic League infantry. And as far as I know in the rules, there's nothing saying you can't do this. Do an attack that'll kill you. So it has 1 dice on him. So it'll do 1 damage to Hohenlohe and take 1 damage in return, which will kill him off, which will rout him, which will force the dice back over, morale dice, from the Imperials back over to the Protestants. Okay, so now we got the dice for the Imperials. Ones. Ooh, 1s. 4s, 5s, 6s. Let's see, what do we got? Yeah, let's go ahead and put the 1s on the Imperial Cavalry. Actually, if I got a 5, no, I didn't get a 5. So I can't try to save. Oh. Ooh, that's interesting. I have to think about that. Anyways, done with the Imperial player, back over to the Bohemian player. Now, since the Catholic League infantry has been eliminated, I can now attack Liechtenstein. The problem is I'm really starting to run out of blocks. As part of me... what to do? Yeah, you know what? Let's have Hohenlohe, and I'll show you another mechanic that is mentioned in one line, but it probably doesn't happen very often. So Hohenlohe is going to go ahead and activate, and Catholic League infantry has already been eliminated, so that means they can go after Liechtenstein. So Liechtenstein is their target. They'll inflict 1 hit on Liechtenstein, which is going to rout them. However, it is also going to inflict 1 hit on Hohenlohe themselves, which causes them to rout as well. Now, in cases like that, neither side gains a morale dice. I mean, there are not dice, but cubes. There is no change in morale cubes. When 2 units eliminate each other, the morale is a wash. So let's tighten up the battlefield a little bit. Tiefenbach comes forward. They're facing off against Thurn. And we have Protestant cavalry left, facing against the Imperial cavalry. Now, basically, the Catholic League cavalry now is kind of useless, because the 1 unit that could attack Schlick has been eliminated, and the 1 unit could screen against is Hohenlohe. So, you know, there's no sense putting dice on the Catholic League cavalry anymore. Actually, they've performed rather well, routing Schlick. So we'll go ahead and I'll just switch these dice around, or switch these cards around. Put that over there and move the scenario card a little bit more centered so people can keep up with morale cubes. So Imperial player, yeah, well, they're going to go ahead and use the Imperial cavalry against the Protestant cavalry. Requires a triplet, does 1 damage. They take no damage in return. Looking grim for the Protestants. Dice. Let's see. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Crap. So the 5s and the 6s aren't going to do any good. 1s and 2s. Ugh. You know what? I don't. If I had doubles of something, I'd put it on the cavalry. I don't have doubles of anything, so I'm not going to place any dice on anybody. Flips back over to the Protestant player. Protestant player has no dice on their cards, so it goes straight to dice roll. 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s. Crap. I need... Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and put the 1 dice on the Protestant cavalry, because honestly, we're looking at 5s and 6s. That's all that can charge up for the Bohemians at this point. And flip back over to the Imperials. Imperials have no dice on any of their cards. They can't take any actions. Dice rolls. Ooh, well, we got triple 1s right there. What else we got? 4s and 5s. Ooh, that's... Now, you know what? It's tougher to get the triple than it is to get anything on. So we'll go ahead and charge up the Imperial Cavalry, which means the Protestant cavalry is probably going to be eliminated next turn. Protestant turn, they can't do anything, so they need to dice it. All right. That's just... Since the Protestant cavalry is probably going to be eliminated, let's go ahead and put it on Thurn. Hopefully charge him up for the next turn. Try to do something, although... honestly, it's probably going to be over in a couple turns for the Protestants. Back over to the Imperials. Imperials are going to activate the Imperial Cavalry. Protestants can't do anything to counter it or screen it, so they will end up losing their last block, forcing the Protestant cavalry to retreat and shifting a cube over again. Now, you're wondering, how the hell are the Bohemians going to lose if they only have one card left, but there's 2 morale dice left? Well, we're going to get to that. Actually, let's go ahead and read that right now. Let's see. Special formations, retire, routing, pursuit, roll phase. Absorb, reactions, actions, set up, how to win. Okay, by reducing your opponent's morale measured in morale cubes to 0 by routing sufficient enemy formations that at the beginning of your opponent's turn, it is impossible for any of his remaining formations to ever attack any of your formations. Doesn't matter if you also can't attack any of his, the check is made at the beginning of the player's own turn, and the first player to fail this check loses the game. So, not only do you do it by breaking morale, which isn't going to happen well, it conceivably could if I charge up the straights for the artillery, because the artillery eliminates cubes. But when Thurn runs away, because it is going to happen, and they lose the morale cube for that, the Imperial or the Protestant player won't have anybody. Well, of course, the Imperial player won't have anybody left to attack either. That's going to be an interesting. We're going to have to figure that out. But anyways, that was the Imperial. So now they have their dice rolling. So basically, well, he can screen against Thurn. He can screen against. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and put the 2 dice on the Imperial Cavalry just to screen against Thurn, which is basically going to prevent Thurn from attacking for quite some time. So let's go ahead and... well, Thurn has 1 dice on him. Let's go ahead and attack Tiefelbach. Go ahead and use that 1 dice, forcing the Imperial player. They have to burn their reaction to do the screen against Thurn. So they're going to lose a turn. So the Imperials are going to get 2 turns in a row, or the Protestants are going to get 2 turns in a row again. So that was their action phase. The reaction was a wash on the attack. Dice rolls. Nothing. The Imperials were going to have a turn, but they reacted, so they lose a turn. Back over to the Protestant player. Protestant player has no dice. Goes to dice rolling. All right, so well, at least they got a 6 at least to charge up a little bit. Then over to the Imperial player. Imperial player has nothing on their dice. What do we charge up? 4. Okay, well, 4s. We'll go ahead and put a 4 on Tiefenbach. Yeah, that's about all I can do. Yeah, there's no reason to put any dice on the Catholic League Cavalry. Didn't get the straight. And the Imperial Cavalry is part of the same wing, so they can't put any other dice on there. Protestant player. Well, it's going to end next turn anyways. So, you know what? Thurn and a gigantic gigantic act of defiance and just to kind of say, screw you. Well, no, it's going to happen anyways, because Tiefenbach can eat the one hit to eliminate Thurn. So you know what? Thurn is going to go ahead and charge in one last desperate attempt to try to break the Imperial lines, which will do 1 point of damage to Tiefenbach, which does not break the lines, but however, they do smash against the Imperial lines, eliminating them, switches the block over. Now, see, this is where it gets kind of interesting, because the rules as written say that during the next turn, at the beginning of a phase, if you have nothing left to attack, then you lose. And I'm going to have to contact Tom about this. Bohemian player has been eliminated. There's no cards left. Imperial player still controls the field, but according to the rules as they are written, let's go ahead and read that one more time. I'll even bring this out just so people see what I'm talking about, how to win. You can win the game one of two ways: by reducing your opponent's morale measured to morale cubes to 0. Okay, that did not happen. By routing sufficient enemy formations that at the beginning of your opponent's turn, it is impossible for any of his remaining formations to ever attack any of your formations. Doesn't matter if you also can't attack any of his. The check is made at the beginning of the player's own turn, and the first player to fail this check loses the game. Protestants have been wiped out, but according to the rules as written, they end up winning. Doesn't seem right. So we're going to have to check with Tom on that one. And even though we are now done with this scenario, and normally I only do one scenario, one game playthrough of something, what I am going to do is the next battle, I'm going to play this one more time, but I'm going to take one of the battles from the first expansion, The War of the Roses. It's got some pretty cool, interesting cards in here. It's got some leader cards in here. It's got a lot of different stuff that's different than the base set. And I realized after I started doing this one, it's like, I should have just jumped right to the expansion. So the next video we're going to do is actually going to cover one of the battles from expansion, The War of the Roses. I'll figure that out. Might be a bigger battle, might be smaller, depending. This one went kind of fast because I wasn't explaining my choices. I think everybody kind of got the idea how the flow of the game goes, and I was indicating why I was making certain choices, but I wasn't bloviating too long and too hard on him. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. This is going to be a first for the original Grognard, that we're going to play the same game 2 games in a row, rather than move on to something else. I hope everybody enjoyed. Again, and honestly, I have to say I'm doing this because I really like this game. This is first game in a while that's come out. Yeah, I'm the original Grognard. I'm old school. I was old school before school was ever in. So I like the older stuff, and honestly, this is one of the few games that have come out within the last 10, 15 years that's really got my interest, and I'm really enjoying. So that's what we're going to be doing next. Something from the first expansion, War of the Roses. Go out, buy it, live it, love it, learn it. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comment section. I'll see everybody next time. See ya!